haven't done one of these in a long time. You can call it, but I think it's an important time to do a little vlog about something Joe and I are starting to do. Granted, a little bit more encouragement from my side. But a few weeks ago, Shay Carl had put a video where he called into Dave Ramsey and did the. Well, let me go back. Dave Ramsey is a guy who kind of has a radio show. He does a few books, and he kind of talks about common sense things about finances, things that really kind of your parents should talk to you about, or you should learn in school, basic stuff about life, but nobody does. So I had read Dave Ramsey's book, and I had seen folks like Joel Osteen talk about him, but it wasn't until Shay Carl in his video, he's a YouTuber. I watch him. At one point it was like a daily obsession. Now it's more like once in a blue moon. But no offense, Shay. You call it. But they called in to Dave Ramsey on Friday when you get to yell that you're debt free. And you know, if you'd watch Shay's videos, excuse me, many times he's brought up the subject about you know, the teachings from Dave, you know, slave to the master and all that stuff, where you know, if you owe money to anybody, you know, you're basically a slave to them. So the principles that Dave teaches, they nothing new. You know, one of them being the snowball effect, and Joe and I did that, and it was successful to a point. You know, I mean, we were able to lower our balances and some loans, and basically what that is you, instead of paying your highest interest first, which is mathematically correct, what you do is more of an emotional payoff. So you pay your small items first, attack them, you know, like there's no tomorrow, and then with the money that normally goes to them, take that over and pay the next one, and then the next one, and you know, those small victories make you very happy. But I fell under the thing where you call it was working good, but of course there's always an emergency. Excuse me. And when you have emergencies, you tend to do what's painless, because there's a principle in life where we kind of try to, you know, we always go towards what's pleasurable, you know, to avoid pain. It's just a natural thing. It's in sales and everything, you know. People say yes in order to avoid pain, you know, the pain of not having something. So, you know, be it a car issue or clothes for the kids or Christmas, whatever the quote-unquote emergency was, we wanted to avoid that immediate pain of, oh my God, you know, what are they going to think? What are they, you know, instead of being logical about it and saying, okay, so here I am, I'm going to put this on a credit card and pay for this for another 7 years. You know, pants that we went to get on sale ended up costing more than some big name brand pants, but okay. So, after watching Shay talk about it and saying he's debt free, and it was kind of weird because like a week later, then Joel Osteen had him on, and Joel Osteen, he pastor that they kind of say he's a motivational speaker more, but you know, he has really good messages to give, and he had Dave speak in his church, and So and that was on. They televised that through webcast. It was a webcast that they put. So I watched that, and I'm like, wow, this guy Dave really. You read the books, but sometimes it's not. You don't get the message full. So then I started downloading the podcast. By the way, do it if you have an MP3 player. Go to iTunes, subscribe to the podcast. By the way, I tend to listen 90% to podcasts instead of the radio. But okay, sorry, change the subject there. But in the podcast, his podcast is basically they take an hour of his 3-hour radio show and put it on there, and you just listen. And almost everything he says is common sense. You think it out logically, and stuff that's like, what's the issue? You were dumb or he says, stupid is, so stupid does, and so you listen to that, and it's like, wow, we're all in the same boat. And that's the other thing. It's nobody likes to talk about their money issues. Young folks do, actually. That there is something where, unlike when I was growing up, that you had your friends that had no cash, and they were like, oh, you got $5 and whatever, So you always have those. But nowadays, folks are just kind of a little bit more honest. Where, listen, I can't do this because I don't have cash. I've been hearing that a lot, so that's good. But again, I digress. So I'm like, okay, let me do the baby steps that Dave Ramsey does. He has set up, baby steps of how to get out of, be debt free, and of course there's the eating on rice and beans and being very frugal with just about everything, and budgeting, which is something we're really bad at. I can budget other people's lives. I can finance their life, and but my own is not as good, and so I've never been, competing with the Joneses, but I did have my phase. So in order for me to do well in this journey, though, I do need my wife to be 100% partner. And one of the difficulties that happens, and this kind of happens every holiday and birthdays, and because I end up I'm like a Scrooge, and I'm like, well, think this, think that, but I need her on board, and I need her to be able to when something comes across, and we gotta say no, for her to know why, not just, and she may know why, but the emotional, again, escaping that pain, it's not there, and that's where her and I both need to be on the same page and stuff. Also, I screw up. I have to admit, I love gadgets. I love toys. So I buy a lot of shit. Pardon the language, but I buy stuff that doesn't, is not needed. I tend to buy on impulse, and the sad part is a lot of it ends up in the garbage, because then I get frustrated because the house is packed of stuff, and the first stuff to go is the stuff that I bought. So I need her to be able to tell me, no, we can't do this. That when we get the urge, I want to go to get some tacos outside there. It's like, hold on, put your brakes on. We'll make the tacos. We'll eat at home. Yesterday we saw the introductory video, and we're going through the steps together. I am thinking that the classes, and I'm not sure, there's something called Financial Peace University. It's a Dave Ramsey, it's a class, based on what he teaches, and there's a couple of churches not too close to my house. That's kind of like because I would need like a babysitter almost on a weekly basis for 3 months, and We really don't have that. Hey, it's sad to say, but we really have no one to kind of take that slack. You call it? But I do think that might be necessary, because when you're in a group and you're doing something together and you get to hear other people's stories, I think that's invaluable. All right, now this video is a little bit long. I guess I'll have to trim a lot of my coughing and stuff and some of the digressions that I did. But yeah, and today is February 9th. We officially did our cash flow budget on the 7th, which was Monday. So we kind of assigned $1 to we assign a bill or something where each dollar is going to go. And then the good part was that even adding things that we normally don't, we kind of just always budget for the bills, and we don't add like the personal stuff, but we did do it this time. It came out that it's not as bad, but it could be better. We do owe a lot of money in credit cards and stuff, so and I did the mistake of borrowing to get out of debt. Yeah, I know, it's when you think about it in hindsight, and when you think about it in those terms, it's like, what? Wait, you took a loan to get out of it? It just doesn't make sense. So we're shooting for, or I'm shooting for, and we don't know mathematically, we got to figure that part out, where we're going to be in 18 months, but I'm hoping that we can get rid of at least all the regular loans and just leave the home equity, and it'll be 3 loans. The car loan, which never again will I buy a new car, but the car loan, the home equity, and the mortgage, we will leave those and attack them. But in 18 months I want to get rid of everything up to that point, up to those 3, and then attack those 3 like so tomorrow. Of course, with the car, get that car paid off ASAP, and then get the home equity, and then finally the mortgage. I want to scream debt free. Baby step number 1 is getting an emergency fund, and that's where you get $1,000, and that's only for emergencies. Yeah, and it's not buying clothes or anything like that. It's emergency. So, all right, let me get going. I'm already here at work, so all right, bye bye.